three professional sports teams on the board here. What do these three teams have in common? They all play in the Major League Baseball. What is the major difference between these three teams? Their payroll. Now, three other pro sports teams on the screen here. They play in the National Hockey League. Take a look at their payroll. Very similar. Today, I will be talking to you about the benefits of a salary cap and why every professional league should have a hard salary cap, like the NHL. So, the message. I'm going to tell you that the salary cap keeps leagues competitive. I'm going to tell you that the NHL, who has a hard salary cap, is more competitive and more balanced and overall more entertaining. And then I'm going to tell you the imbalances in the National Basketball Association, UEFA Soccer, and in Major League Baseball. So today's itinerary. So we will be addressing what is a salary cap versus what is a luxury tax versus what is UEFA's financial fair play. That will be first on the agenda. Then we will be saying how does salary caps keep leagues competitive. And then third, we'll be saying the strategy behind the salary cap. Excuse me. So first, salary cap versus luxury tax. So NHL versus MLB. So a salary cap, you have a floor that you can't go under and a ceiling that you can't go over. So right now in the NHL, 82 million you can't go over, 60 million you can't go under. So your players have to be, your 23 players on your roster have to be paid in an alignment that you can't go over and you can't go under. Luxury tax. It's a soft cap. That's what they have in the Major League Baseball. So what that basically is there's a certain threshold of money, and every time you go over that threshold when you're paying players over that threshold, what happens is the owners have to pay a tax on that. But the major problem with that is major big market teams, like we saw, the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Boston Red Sox, they have big fan bases, huge rich owners. They go over the luxury tax all the time. They'll pay the tax. It doesn't matter to them. They will go and buy the best players to win the most championships. And that is evident. So, here we're going to take a look at our luxury tax. So, the New York Yankees, every single year since 2003 up to 2015, they've been over the threshold and they've paid the luxury tax. They're the biggest team in baseball. They could do that. Let's look at some other big teams, big market teams that go over the salary cap. Los Angeles Dodgers, Boston Red Sox have paid the luxury tax. These are big market teams that when they want to go out and buy a player to win a championship, they will do that. And that gives them an unfair advantage over their competition. So financial fair play. So this is in European soccer. It's introduced in 2011-2012. It states that teams cannot spend more than they earn in a fiscal year. But the major problem with that is that the big clubs, they earn more through ticket sales, merchandise, trophy. You get money for winning trophies and TV deals. So the big clubs have been able to keep spending while the small clubs haven't been able to. So let's talk about how salary caps keeps leagues competitive. So essentially, what the salary cap does is it prevents super teams, but then prevents terrible teams. So this leads to more competitive playoffs, deeper teams across the board. So you don't have one team in the league with a bunch of superstars and another team with, no one. The league is very well rounded in that regard. It also creates upsets because every team can beat anybody in the NHL. Can't show that because of copyright reasons, so we'll skip that. I want to pay attention to the Eastern Conference in both the NHL and the NBA. Especially, I want to look at the 8th place team. So the 8th place team is the cutoff for playoffs. So look at the record for the Orlando Magic. They're 5 games below 500. 500 means you win the same as you lose. They're in a playoff spot. Columbus Blue Jackets are 11 games over 500, and they're just in a playoff spot. That shows you the competitiveness of this league. So, I'm going to outline a little bit on how the financial fair play is ineffective in Europe. So here I have 6 of the biggest teams across European football, European soccer. I'll go through a couple for you. So the biggest earners in all of European football right now are Manchester City. They make 2.4 billion Canadian dollars a year. 4 league titles, 9 trophies. Okay, let's see if you catch a pattern. PSG, $2 billion earned, 6 league titles, 16 trophies. Wow, you catch a pattern. We'll go to Real Madrid, $1.5 billion Canadian, 2 league titles, 12 trophies, 4 Champions League. Champions League is like the Stanley Cup of Europe. So you can see that the more you earn, the more you can spend, the more you will win. The better players you bring in, the more likely you are to win. There's no salary cap implementation in European soccer. That's why there's such an imbalance in the league. So, GMs must be strategic. What that basically means is that in a salary cap, GMs must be strategic as they must make tough decisions. Let's look at the Chicago formula and the Pittsburgh formula. So what these teams have done, they were bad for a long time, but they built from the draft. So in Pittsburgh's case, Chris Letang, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Marc-Andre Fleury, that was kind of their core group of players. They won 3 groups with that players. Chicago Blackhawks was Duncan Keith, Brent Seabrook, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews. They were able to get those guys from the draft and then win with them. What you also have to do as a GM is you have to be able to tie your core guys down into good contracts and then bring in other assets via trade, via free agency to help your team win. It's a lot of strategy. So these are 2 dynasty teams, 3 cups each. Well, for these guys in their dynasties, they're truly remarkable sports teams. Can't show that. So in conclusion, all leagues should have a salary cap. Absolutely. First reason, luxury tax, financial fair play, they're just simply ineffective. Big market teams could squash out little market teams by going out and splashing their money and buying whoever they want because these owners have so much money, it doesn't really matter to them. Money is just an object. Second reason, keep the leagues competitive. With the salary cap, you don't see the imbalance of teams. You see a balanced league, and that provides great entertainment. And 3, GMs must be strategic. It's not just about splashing out the checkbook. It's about building from the draft, or signing the right players, or making the right trades, or signing the right contracts as well. So, for more information, you can visit capfriendly.com. Thank you for watching my presentation.